Hello, beautiful ones. How are we today? For those of you in California, I hope you have air conditioning. As you can see, I've got a different background today. Too hot upstairs. Oh my goodness. And we're still doing sleep training with my daughter. So if you hear cries, I'm just sending all the loving energy up to the bedroom. Please send it as well. All right, so I'm going to get into this right away. Put your hello, Jasmine Alexander. Put your name in the comments, say hello, and please speak up if this is you with what I'm talking about today. Please ask questions. This is your Q&A, and while you have me live, use me. There are no silly questions, okay? But it has to be relevant to this conversation. Okie dokie. So normally I do a bit of a dance off, but as my daughter's trying to get to sleep, I will not be doing that. So I'm just thinking of that song. I got this feeling inside my bones. Na 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 na. Got that sunshine in my pocket, and I don't know any more words. Oh my goodness, look how high my bra is. Okay, this is like post pregnancy. I'm just waiting for more of you to join. But like, can you just check out how high this thing is? It's hysterical. It's like a hammock. Okay. All right. I am going to dive straight in. So welcome to my live Q&A. My name is Lucy Shah Jahan. I'm so happy that you're joining me. I'm so happy that you're here. This community is all about you wanting more for yourself. This is about you stepping up out of your limitations, out of your conditioning, out of your past stories that are robbing you of the future that you could be creating right now. Okay, so this is about you really raising the stakes. Thanks, Jasmine. I'll take that. And going, what do I want? Do you just want a mediocre relationship with some dude who doesn't show up for you? Or do you want the real deal soulmate relationship? Because I'm here to tell you that it exists. And I'm also here to tell you that it is your birthright. You are not your past. You are not your traumas. You are not your family's story or shitty marriage. You have a blank slate. Okay? So let's dive on in. So today's theme is around, please say hello in the comments. I like to know who's joining me and I can't actually see. So join me. All right. Are you trying to convince yourself that you may not even want to get married? Please put in the comments below. No, not at all, soulmate. What does that mean? Please explain, Jasmine. Are you trying to convince yourself that you don't want to get married? You have the car, you have a career, you have great friends. So you wonder if marriage is even worth it, right? Sure, the big dress, the beautiful ceremony, and celebrating with your closest friends and family sounds great. But what about everything what about everything after the wedding is over? Look, here's the deal. Hi, gorgeous Stacey. I have a lot of women, actually, more than you would think, that come to me who have talked themselves out of marriage. And this is for a number of reasons. It's because they don't have a role model. I have, honestly, so many women, they're like, I don't have a good role model, Lucy, of what a good relationship looks like. And I was like, well, you've just found one. Hello. And there are plenty of them, but remember, it's what you focus on. Are you focusing on your parents who had a really bad marriage, toxic? Maybe mum walked out on dad, dad walked out on mum, or they stayed together and they were acting like everything was fine, but you could almost feel the tension. Or, like so many of my clients, you grew up in a household where there was fighting and lots of it. And your little girl has taken that into her cellular DNA, into her cellular memory. And I can tell you right now that love does not feel safe for you. You've got all these bodyguards that you took on from a very young age, and those bodyguards are literally building wall after wall after wall. Because to you, your value is actually safety over love. You would rather keep yourself safe, and you would rather protect yourself than have to go to the extremes that your parents went to. Okay? Or on the flip side, if that is not you, you've experienced really, let's just say, toxic relationships, whether that's emotional abuse, physical abuse, rejection en masse. And that's really torn down your trust muscle. So really, I'll get to you in a second, Jasmine. Really, it's not that you don't want to get married. It's that you don't have good role models and you don't have a good belief system about what marriage is. Now, I'm not on this live to tell you that you have to want to get married or that marriage is the way forward. I love being married. And the truth is, I didn't used to think that I was marriage material, and I didn't used to think I was soulmate material, because my father died at a young age. I experienced, a lot of trauma. I grew up, with a single mum, and to be honest, I didn't have that role model either. And also, my dad was married before, so there was kind of a bit of like mess from the previous marriage. So to me, I just didn't have those references. And then on top of that, having, a big personality and, being deeply emotional and being a free spirit, combined with all of those traits, and then growing up in a family where I didn't experience that loving relationship. I mean, I did when I was a little girl, but my dad wasn't even around much because he was always flying back and forth from our farm. So I truly didn't get to experience that firsthand. On top of that, I had the abandonment of, my father dying and feeling like men leave, they die on me. And so, I can laugh about it now, but no, that was very real for me. And I know for you, you've got these real fears that are paralyzing you. And you convinced yourself that marriage just isn't for you. And then you talk into the story of, I can raise a kid on my own, or I'm happy being single. Well, for a start, you wouldn't be in this community if you really did want to end up alone. And while it's amazing to have a committed relationship without marriage, marriage is what you make it. And for me, marrying my husband, I don't need marriage to show that we've got a great relationship or to have him commit to me, because he's already committed to me and I'm committed to him. Like, that's just an energetic understanding. But when you find the right person, and when you actually allow yourself, notice those words, allow yourself to actually desire marriage and go, well, what if marriage did work for me? And what if I got to create it on my terms, and I got to create a really healthy, amazing marriage where the marriage aspect deepened our connection and had us connect at an even deeper level? Like, who wouldn't want that? So I remember watching Revolutionary Road with Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh my God, they've got such great chemistry on screen, don't they? That movie really spoke to me because I don't want the white picket fence. And I certainly didn't want to be, fitting into looking like the perfect family. And yet there was all this turmoil inside of their marriage. And to me, I was like, God, I don't want that. So I noticed that I had to actually set the record straight for myself to say, well, good, I know what I don't want. But like I said before, what if I got to create the marriage that I wanted, where we both had our freedom inside the marriage, right? Where we are co-creating and we are interdependent. Because inside this conversation, many of you are actually fighting for your independence instead of actually wanting to genuinely unite and consolidate your life with someone else, like a yin and a yang. And you're like, oh, I can have a relationship, but I want to have it, where I still have freedom. So I don't want to do marriage. And I just don't believe many of you. I know some of you, like, that's fine, but truly, this is an opportunity to deepen an already amazing relationship. But first, you've got to deepen the relationship with yourself. And that is about, learning how to be your own soulmate, learning how to be intimate with yourself, learning how to trust yourself, learning how to back yourself and put yourself first and take up all the space and learn how to express yourself and be the unapologetic version of you. And when you do that for yourself, you're like, hell yeah, I want a relationship. And of course I want to get married. And for those of you that have also shelved the idea of being a mother, which I see a lot when women first come into my program, they're like, yeah, I don't need to get married. And also, I don't even know if I want children. And I call it out. I'm like, you know what? Let me ask you that question again. Don't give me like, if it's with the right guy. No shit. Of course it's got to be with the right guy. There's such this kind of like disclaimer of like, well, only if it was the right guy. Who else would you want to get married and have children with? The wrong guy? So even just the way that a lot of women come to me and they answer that question, it's very much putting the power over with the guy, going, well, it depends on him. No, it depends on you getting yourself into alignment, and then you attracting in from that high vibration, and you honoring your actual true dream, which is, you know what? Fuck, when you say it like that, yeah, I do want to be a mum. The other reason you don't want to be a mum or get married is because you don't think you'd be any good at it. You don't trust yourself to be someone that men marry. You don't trust that you'd be a good mother. And that's what's underneath this marriage conversation and also this baby conversation is you have had fractured experiences, negative experiences, traumatic experiences. And so you're forgetting that you're whole. You came into this world as a whole soul. And you've allowed those experiences to break you down, where you're now totally compromising what was once your dream. Whoa, mic drop. Take that in. Can you give yourself a mic drop? Because I just did. It's true though. I know it's true because I'm working with so many women that come to me who have legit given up on their dream. And when they start to do the work on themselves and they start to breathe life into their soul and into their heart, they're like, I can have that. I want that. Hello, I want that. And I'm like, I know you do, sister. You've just been in the story telling yourself that you couldn't have it. And then you made it like the truth. And then you enrolled all your friends about saying, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. And actually you were just numb to possibility. And you turned off your dream like when you put a kink in a hose and said, well, I don't need to have life the way I want it. I'll just compromise and sell out because at least I don't have to risk getting hurt again. At least I don't have to risk heartbreak. Love is worth putting your whole self into, because without being willing to be both feet in, you will not experience the kind of love that I know that you're in this community, because that's what you actually want. But you can't be operating out of your plan B and settling and expect to have plan A. And if you're sitting in, well, I don't even know that soulmates exist, how's that working out for you? I used to be in that story and it sucked balls. I was never the chosen one. I never got the kind of guy that I wanted, and I was right. So Jasmine said, I was answering a question you asked earlier about wanting just another casual relationship or a soulmate. You want a soulmate? Hell's yes, sister. That's why you're here. I know that's what you all want. And read my lips like it's coming from directly from the universe, God, the divine source. You can have a soulmate relationship. We get what we expect. We get what we believe. And if you're not believing you can have it, and you're not truly feeling worthy in your heart and soul, I don't mean like, yeah, I'm worthy, I've done a PhD. I don't mean that. Oh, darling, my computer's about to die. Could you please get my charger? So anyway, that was really basically everything that I wanted to say in this live. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear, where you're at. I want you to share in the comments what actually your big dream is and admit to yourself that you've given up on it, and today is the day to claim it back. It's yours for the taking. It belongs to you. So please don't abandon yourself or your dream and sell out because you might have had a really rocky last 30 years. You're made of bigger things than that. Hi, how does low self-worth affect raising children, daughters? I'm a single mum. Low self-worth directly affects raising your children, your beautiful daughters, because you are their role model, and they can also feel the lack. They can feel underneath that sadness. They can feel the disappointments. I have a daughter as well, and she feels everything. And I already, before having her, made a commitment to be my best self, because I want her to experience, me in my greatness, so that she knows what's possible. So darling, yeah, you getting your self-worth, voila, in order, getting that dialed in is the biggest, most important priority you could give yourself right now. Because you're going to show your children, woohoo, I've got a little bit more battery coming. You can show your children what being in your power and what being happy and loving of self looks like. How on earth are they going to be set up for success if you're not actually role modeling that to them? They're going to pick up on all that stuff. And then what children do is they take it on. So I look at friends of mine. I grew up, we were just little kids together. And long story short, the parents had a toxic marriage, and the youngest daughter took on all of their issues, had chronic anxiety and like major depression. And it was because the parents weren't taking responsibility for themselves. And so it was like the daughter was just absorbing all the rubbish. And, that's just one example. So truly the best thing you could do for yourself, voila, is to deal with yourself, to do whatever it's going to take to step up and to make it a non-negotiable. And that's really the same that I would say to all of you right now that aren't where you want to be. It's because the stakes aren't high enough. My program, Soul to Soul, is a high-end investment because you're worth that. And the stakes are really high. In 8 weeks, you want to change your life? You better believe it. You can change your life. And that is why I only invite in, or my team only invites women in that are ready to do whatever it's going to take. And that is the attitude that will have you change your life. And it will have you literally leave the program with me and go, holy shit, I thought it was going to be good, but I didn't realize it was going to change my life forever. So that's what's here for you, is you just saying, you know, I'm done. I'm done with dimming my light. I'm done with pretending that I'm fine with just what I have. And it's about you saying, no, I want more than this. And then you fill in the gaps of whatever that dream is for you. But today's topic was about marriage. So it's very much about you turning the boat around, right, of your life and saying, I'm actually going to get out of my comfort zone and do the work on myself. And I'm going to start collecting role models that I actually aspire to and start getting the right support so that you can be one of those people that people actually look up to and go, I want a marriage like Jasmine. How cool would that feel, Jasmine, for people to be saying, wow, like you're my role model? Because none of us are perfect. There's no perfect relationship. But my husband and I have a really healthy relationship. That does not mean we don't fight. That does not mean we don't disagree, right? But we are on the same page. And I, you know, had a couple of miscarriages and then I went on the IVF journey, and I can't imagine going along this path to become a mum. And then there's motherhood, right? And then there's birth, labor. I can't imagine not being in this level of relationship with a man who literally was there to inject the needles into me when I was doing IVF, who was there for me. You know, we were holding each other with the miscarriages, who just constantly is there to support me. You know, he's there for my 3-day labor, holding my hand and holding space for the whole 3 days, you know, just wanting me to be my brightest, biggest version of myself with my business. You know, like that's what I want to share with you. You know, that's greatness. And I had to do the work to get myself into alignment so that I could attract in this caliber of relationship. Because if I didn't, I don't even want to think about where I'd be right now. I wouldn't probably still be married. That's the truth. I certainly wouldn't be, you know, running my business like this. It's just, I can't tell you, like, well, I can tell you, and I will tell you, it is worth everything to put a stake in the ground, to connect back to what your dream is, and then to honor yourself and make a sacred vow that you're going to fight for yourself. And that, yeah, to admit to yourself, I do want to be married, actually. I want to be in a thriving marriage, in a marriage that has freedom, and a marriage that has deep love and connection and that's supportive. That's you creating the script and the story that you want. So it's not marriage that you have an issue with. It's your context of what you've experienced or witnessed. And then you're just inheriting that garbage and saying, well, of course I don't want that. Well, no, I don't want a toxic marriage either. I don't want some fucking guy cheating on me or being lame and not being there in the times when I need him most. I'm not subscribing to that either. So just check which story you're in and realize that you're the creator of your life and you get to have your life the way that you want it. You get to have a marriage the way that you want it. And this whole life is about you getting your dream off the back burner and making it a priority and putting it first. And when you do, you're going to feel expansive and inspired, and you're going to feel unstoppable. And you're going to go, you know what? That is what I want. And I'm willing to do the work on myself to be the best me and to heal those parts of you that you've had shame around, you know, those wounds, those traumas, the not enoughness, the shame, the guilt. It's no point sitting there having shame and guilt and regret and being addicted to your trauma. That's not helping you. You're either in the story of lack and delay, or you're in the story of abundance and prosperity. Which story do you want to live in? The gate to happiness is self-compassion. That's my yogi tea. That's what I'm going to end this live with. The choice is yours, Divine One. It really is. What do you want from your life? Because these are your best years right now. Yes, during COVID, right now, you have the opportunity to step up and to claim your dream and to say, fuck no, I will not be left behind for another 6 months or another year. This time next year, I will be in a very different place because I'm going to put myself first now and do the work and commit to myself and learn how to love myself. Because when you do that, that is the biggest gift that you give yourself. And yes, it's priceless. When you learn how to love yourself deeply, which looks like dealing with yourself and facing yourself, You also heal a lot of other health issues as well, because we're all energy and we're 80% water. And when you're living in toxicity and drama and pain and suffering, that affects you totally on a physical level. As many of you know, many of you are suffering from anxiety and post-traumatic stress and irritable bowel and migraines and insomnia and all sorts of things, panic attacks, stomach issues. But they're just a symptom of what's going on in your emotional world. And you have found yourself in this community, and I'm here to help you. But you've got to do your part to reach your hand out, to take my hand and say, you know what, I do want more than this. All right, so I'm going to go and get my daughter because she didn't sleep, and I'm going to go and give her some love. And I want you to really take this to heart, okay? Because you deserve a soulmate relationship, and you deserve to have an amazing future with lots of love in it and commitment. So let yourself be inspired by this live. Dig that dream out of the deep, 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 deep underground that you've dug it down into and buried, and make it front and center. Mwah.